Hello, I am in a rest stop about half hour before you get to Cincinnati, Ohio. You probably thought that you were done with me after PulpFest, but no, you have to ride with me all the way back home, hitting more bookshops along the way. I didn't get very much today. I only had 7 books. I stopped in Columbus, Ohio. There was a place called the Book Loft. The building was beautiful. It was like a maze in there with all these little rooms going upstairs, downstairs. Unfortunately, they do not carry any mass market paperbacks. Everything is post barcode trade paperbacks, newer books, what I consider newer books, and hardbacks. They had a lot of books. It's just not the kind of things that I look for. So that was a wash. So then I went to another bookstore just outside of Columbus and Clintonville. I don't remember the name of the bookstore. It was some woman's name. And the website said they were open. The sign on the door said it was during their regular hours, but the doors were locked, the lights were off, and there was a note on the door saying sometimes they just go ahead and leave it too, and it's best to call before you show up to their shop. Unfortunately, I don't know how you know that when that sign is on the door. You've already shown up there, but so that was a wash also. Fortunately, there was another bookstore just down the street called Clintonville Books, and so I stopped in there. They did have a few racks of vintage pulp books and another rack by the counter that had some mass market paperbacks. So I did find a few there, and at least one of them was actually on my list. In fact, I'll start with that one. This is The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. Josephine Leslie, which is the real name. She originally wrote this under, I think it was R.A. Dick, and then it was later released under her actual name. But then there's also another book, Ghost of Mrs. Muir. They made it into a movie, and then another author did the novelization of the movie version, and then it was turned into a TV show. And I believe there's a TV tie-in novel also that was written by another person. So basically, I believe there are, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 different books called The Ghost is Mrs. Muir that are under 4 different author names. I have the movie novelization, but I've always been looking for the actual book that the movie was based on, and so that was on my list, and now we have it. And this is somebody who I've never heard of before, John Maddox Robert, Space Angel. It says, for Kelly, it was an impossible dream come true when he shipped out on the Space Angel. Ship's boy was the most menial job aboard, but it was excitement enough just to be in space. Things became more exciting than even Kelly wanted them. Things became more exciting than even Kelly wanted when an unimaginable old and powerful entity commandeered the Space Angel and sent the freighter on an incredible mission to the center of the galaxy with 2 hereditary killers and a poetic crab added to the crew for extra interest. Kelly knew that he would finish the trip as a seasoned spacer or a very dead one. And this one is one I did not have. Avram Davidson. This is Masters of the Maze. There was only one way to invade Earth, and the monsters from the stars had found it. And this is Joseph Sheridan LeFanu. This is The Room in the Dragon Inn. It says young adventurer haunted by the elusive figure and enticing beauty of the Countess de Saint Helier lies awake through the night in the room in the Dragon Inn, from which too many guests have disappeared mysteriously in the past. Then, from the lady in the chamber above comes an eerie song with a strange invitation to intermingle love and evil. And Jerry Soule, The Altered Ego. What will life be like in 2045? Chances are you'll be a stable personality. Science will have made it impossible for most men to commit a violent act. You'll hope for restoration. No matter how you die, they can bring you back to life. But only 200 Americans are restored each year. If you're due for restoration, they'll record your brain. They'll preserve forever any thought you've ever had, any skills, any memories, and you may have to pit your life against them. And then Christopher Anvil, The Day the Machine Stopped. The day the machine stopped began in an ordinary way. There was little warning of the impending disaster. Suddenly, all electrical energy was destroyed on the earth. Planes, cars, rockets, machinery of all kinds became useless. By week's end, total chaos enveloped the world as the wheels of civilization ground to a halt. Then ruthless leaders began to emerge, seeking a way to gain control of the almost helpless population. Only a handful of scientists remained to fight the inexplicable phenomenon, until they were captured and forced to use their knowledge to help the ruthless power combine take the world back to the Dark Ages. And the last one I got, I found another mapback. This is Juliet Dies Twice by Lang Lewis. Prop room, Touchstone Theater, scene of murder in Juliet Dies Twice. So that is all I got for today. I'm gonna have to upload this later because I seem to be at the only place I've ever been in the United States that has no signal whatsoever. It's gone to SOS mode. So even though there are 2 repeater towers that I'm parked directly in front of, there is no cell phone signal here whatsoever. Navigation, nothing works, but I believe Cincinnati is that way, so I'm going to head there. I was going to try to do this as a live stream, to have a pull up, to do a choose my own adventure, to have you guys decide which way I should go next, which bookstores I go to, etc. I thought that would be fun, being as I'm not on any sort of a time schedule, except that I have to be in Denton, Texas on Saturday. But in order to do that, I would actually need to have some sort of Wi-Fi or cell connection. So I'll have to give it a think and see if I can figure that out. In the meantime, thanks for dropping in whenever this happens to hit YouTube, and I will talk to you again soon. I have to decide whether to stay over in Cincinnati. Everything's going to be, all the bookstores will be closed by the time I get there. So see if I should stay over and spend the night there, or if I should just move on to Louisville, Kentucky. I would ask you guys, but I can't talk to you right now. But I will talk to you soon. Until next time.